everybody, it's Maggie, and today we're going to be building a student apartment in The Sims 4. So before I get started talking about the build, I wanted to talk about something that just happened to me today. I got locked out of my house. And you'd think this would have been the first time, but no, I got locked out of my house on Halloween too. So you'd think I would have put a key outside or something. No, we just figured we'd be a little more careful this time. And I don't even know how this happened. So I was coming home from doing some grocery shopping today, and I noticed there was a dog on the side of the road, and they looked like they had maybe been lost or whatever. So I pulled over and I got out of the car and I went over to the dog, and she was so smelly. I cannot express to you how smelly she was, but she immediately flopped over and let me rub her belly, and she smelled like dead dog. So I didn't want her in my car. So I told my partner to go on and take the car home, and I would just walk the dog home. Well, I started trying to get the dog and she ran away from me. So I ran after her and I went down the road a little ways, and I was finally able to grab her collar and start walking with her. And I figured I would take her home, maybe give her a bath, like maybe she had been lost for a while, and then get her cleaned up and then get her back to her owner. Well, I start walking down the street and she got away from me again, and I was like, oh my gosh, well, I'm just going to keep walking because when I had lost her the first time, she started following me as soon as I turned away from her. So I started walking away from her, and then these kids ran up from down the street, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, do they want to pet my dog or something? I'm going to have to tell them no because she's disgusting. And they were like, oh my gosh, you found her. And I was like, oh no, please tell me you're not the owners, because like she needs a bath, really. And they came up to me and they had apparently found her, and they were going to be taking care of her. They were going to give her a bath and try and find her owner. And if they couldn't find her owner, then they were going to keep her. So that was a happy ending. But my partner was worried about me because I didn't have my phone. So he quickly dropped the car off at home and took all of the groceries inside and everything, got everything that needed to be refrigerated into the refrigerator, and then grabbed a makeshift leash and ran out of the house. Well, he didn't remember to take the keys with him when he closed the garage. So he came all the way up to meet me without the keys. And I asked him, I was like, why didn't you just drive the car up here? And he was like, I didn't think about that. I figured if you didn't want the dog in the car, then like you wouldn't want her in the car, even if I had taken the food out of it or anything. And I was like, well, I mean, you still could have driven beside me. And he kind of lamented that he didn't think of that. And he was like, well, I'm just glad you're okay. And I was like, yeah, I really appreciate you coming back and checking on me. So let's just get inside. And he was like, oh my gosh, I don't have the keys. Like, I'm not even kidding you. So it took us like 2 or 3 hours to get into the house afterwards, because we were trying to get, my keys were in the garage, and my car had the garage door opener in it, and all of our doors to the outside have deadbolts, so there was no way we could have picked the lock. So we had to try and get into my car. Well, my dad came over and tried to pry the door open a little bit and get maybe a ruler in there or something like that. He didn't have the right tools, so it didn't work. We spent an hour and a half, 2 hours trying to do that. And then my partner was trying really hard not to have to pay a tow truck guy to come over, and I was like, really, honestly, it would cost about the same to get a car pick kit, and there's no guarantee that we could have been able to do it. So we had to get a tow truck person to come over and pick the lock for me. It was 2 seconds. The guy was in and out, and we almost... Okay, so we got into the garage, my dad left, the tow truck guy left, and we were like, okay, well, the keys will obviously be in my partner's truck. Absolutely. And they weren't. And so we thought he had maybe locked them inside the house somehow, but we didn't see how he could have done that because there were deadbolts everywhere. Except the one going into the garage, which didn't have a deadbolt. And I was thinking, okay, well, we just have to pick the lock to the house. But we didn't think to look on the hood of his truck, which was in the garage. So we did find the keys, but oh man, was that a rough time or what? So long story short, I don't know, always have a backup key or whatever, like maybe give one to your neighbors if you trust them or something like that. But man, we're going to be making some keys tomorrow. So with this apartment, I had started out trying to make it kind of a really rundown, gross apartment, kind of dingy and gross. I didn't like the way the tiles were looking, so I kind of switched it up a bit and made it a little bit more modern, a little bit more updated by the school. So the idea with this apartment is that the school has furnished like the kitchen, it's furnished the main living space, so like that hall tree thing, the console table in the hall, some of the art in the hall and in the living space, and the TV, all that kind of thing has been furnished by the school, but the kids had to furnish the bedrooms by themselves. So the kids had to bring their own bedding and they had to bring their own decorations. So everything in the rooms is kind of catered toward the kids, but they're all really school pride oriented. So maybe they got a lot of this stuff from the school for free, because I know my school at least will do things like giveaways. If you come to like Spirit Day or whatever, sometimes they'll just have some booths out in the quad and they'll sit out there and hand out free shirts to the first 100 people that come up. So that's kind of the idea behind the bedrooms. The bathroom is a little bit better, I would say, furnished than a bathroom you might find at a normal campus. I just couldn't find a tile that I was falling in love with, so we're stuck with those city living tiles. I didn't limit my packs in this build at all. Normally I do, because I am making a save file. So if you go onto my gallery page, you will find a whole bunch of builds. Like they'll either have a limited pack version, or there will be a limited pack version and a version that I have more packs in, because I like to utilize a lot of the packs for people that do have those. But if you're ever going through my save file once I get that uploaded and you find a lot that has a whole bunch of stuff missing, just go on my gallery page. I'll probably have it uploaded with fewer packs installed. I had a whole bunch of fun making this apartment. I have found that I really like building in San Myshuno. I think that's because the majority of the build is not up to me. I think I like not having to work out an exterior, just basically having to do a floor plan, which floor plans aren't that bad because, well, at least in San Myshuno, because this is basically just a small box that I'm having to work with. So I have found that I really like building in San Myshuno, and I've gotten most of my lots done there because it is just so much easier for me. But I will be coming out with some more builds that are done not just in San Myshuno. I promise I will be building complete lots later on, but I wanted to start this because the university hype is real with me right now. I'm super excited to play that pack, and I have some cool gameplay coming up for you later, I think this week, I'm not sure. So I know that my uploads have been pretty sporadic lately, but I have gotten everything under control. There was just some junk happening in my life right now, but everything has kind of leveled out and I have figured everything out. So I have my uploads planned. I should start posting every day. Hold me to that. If I tell you that right now, then I guess I'll have to stick to it. I think this room is cute, but I must say that I have a real soft spot for the other bedroom in this build. I'm not sure why. I think it might be because the colors are richer, and also there are stuffed animals, and frogs. Frogs also. Those frog rugs from Backyard Stuff are the cutest, and I love especially that blue and red swatch. I really like this blue and red theme. I know that I was kind of searching for a different blue. I don't know why we don't have more richer. I don't know why we don't have more rich blues in The Sims 4. When I was looking, it kind of seemed like we had more teals and sky blues, but I really like the contrast. I don't know if it's contrast or whatever, like the kind of, I guess it's a 3D glasses look, like the really dark blue and dark red. They're just so pretty together. Some of my favorite color schemes for colleges come with that kind of blue and red type thing. I think there's one in the University of Kansas that has like a chicken or whatever as their mascot, but I used to love that as a kid. I don't know where I found that or anything. I just decided that I really liked their whole getup, and I wanted some pants from them. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Okay. I changed my mind on the curtain situation in this build kind of toward the end here, because I decided that we could probably get some more color in through the windows, and I found these gorgeous red and blue, the perfect red and blue that I was looking for throughout the entire thing with the movie hangout stuff. That is one of my favorite stuff packs, especially for those kind of draped over curtains. They're so versatile. I love that pack so much. So I used those in the end because normally I'll filter through things like that and I'm like, oh no, that's a stuff pack. I don't want to add another stuff pack. And I was like, what are you doing, silly? You're not limiting your packs in this build. So I got to use those and I'm so happy. So we are getting into screenshot territory now. I want you to know that you can download this build on my gallery page. My origin ID is scaryokegaming. The link will be in the description box below. You will have to search for this in kind of a weird way. It will be uploaded as a room with the doors deleted. And also I have had to replace this lot a couple of times to take screenshots. So I also want you to know that the curtains will disappear when you place this down. So all of the curtains and all of the blinds will disappear when you place this down. You also need move objects on because things will delete, namely that cute little stuffed animal on the dresser. Thank you so very much for staying until the end of the video. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.